Hey guys, Avengers Infinity War, first look, let them know we're talking.
Before creation itself, there were 6 singularities. Forged into infinity stones.
This is our first day. Here we are in Pinewood in Atlanta, and it's actually pretty unbelievable.
Day one of what promises to be a year of fun-filled lensing.
I remember actually going to see the first Avengers with one of my best mates from home, and I'd never have dreamed that I'd ever be in one of these movies, let alone playing Spider-Man. I feel like I'm on top of the world because this is just mind-blowing.
What we always try to do at Marvel Studios is we're building the cinematic universe, is look at the big picture, how can things relate across movies and across years. Avengers Infinity War is the culmination of the entire Marvel Cinematic Universe as started in May of 2008 with the release of Iron Man 1.
Wow.
And it really is an unprecedented culmination of a series of films interlinked together, which at the time had never been done before. And for us, the important thing is making it all come together. We know they're going to face Thanos. We've been setting that up since Avengers 1. How do you do that in a way that is unexpected, that pits the Avengers against somebody who is more powerful than anyone they faced, and yet make them completely unprepared to face him? Well, tear them apart, which is why we did Civil War before Infinity War.
As we were conceiving and executing Civil War, the end of that movie was very much a setup for what these movies would be. We always had the sense of that.
Yeah, like Coen Brothers.
Tony is not talking to Steve. The Avengers are basically a name with nobody in it. The world is vulnerable.
Tony senses this greater threat approaching, and so he is doing everything in his power to keep the Earth safe.
Thanos shows us why he's the biggest, the best, the baddest villain that we've ever had, and the most frightening villain that the Avengers have ever faced.
The most exciting part is the incredible roster of well-developed characters, and it's going to create a really combustible, exciting, massive-scale adventure.
You know that we're onto something within the studio when we hit upon an idea or we see a piece of concept art and all of us in the room go, this is cool. And in Avengers Infinity War, the Avengers will meet the Guardians of the Galaxy.
Because of what Marvel is, because of what they have done over the last 10 years, these next two Avengers films will be an event like no one has ever seen on film before.
I'm excited.
That was pretty cool.
I'm really excited. I feel like the guys at Marvel know what they're doing.
I feel like now, yeah, I feel that now more than ever, especially with the last wave of films we got.
Yeah.
I feel like they finally hit their stride and they know what they're going for, and they're going off in a lot of different confident directions. They get better, I think, each time around.
If anyone's seen Civil War, I didn't look at it as an Avengers Infinity War setup.
Yeah.
I thought it was just a great film.
Yeah, I did too.
And with seeing how it was very much like they were going to do Civil War specifically as a prelude to Infinity War makes more sense now. I always thought that, but then hearing them confirm that was like, oh yeah, okay, that makes a lot more sense because you got to bring them back together. And just honestly, the most exciting part of this whole footage was just seeing Tony Stark and Chris Pratt and Tom Holland just chit-chatting. It's like, woo!
These guys all hanging around, yeah.
Knowing the Guardians are gonna because the Guardians of the Galaxy were the ones who are off in another universe. So seeing them all come together, just in that frame of them talking to the camera was like, oh my god, this is legit happening. This is crazy. I mean, the first Avengers mashup was already nuts.
Yeah.
Now we're kind of used to the mashup, but this mashup has gotten me actually genuinely excited, specifically because they're for sure including Guardians of the Galaxy.
I don't know how that's gonna work, and it's crossed over to the point where I'm just excited to see how they make it work, because I'm pretty confident that they can. Because, you know, earlier on when they're like, yeah, we're going to bring in Guardians of the Galaxy into the main MCU, I was like, they feel like they're from a different timeline, but it's like this stuff is exciting to me. It's when they're like, oh yeah, we're gonna get more of these characters that we love together, and we're gonna bend genres again.
And it seems like they're asking themselves the right questions.
Yeah.
You know, like, oh, we've been setting up Thanos for so long. How do we really make this feel unexpected? How do we make this feel like a major obstacle they have to work together to overcome? Because with all this setup, you're kind of just imagining just a big action film. Yeah. But they're really going out of the way to ask themselves, how can we still surprise the audience? Because they're expecting the unexpected, but how do we give them the unexpected when they're expecting that, you know? And it seems like they're asking the right questions, and they're sitting down and really thinking it out. They're not just going to go cliche with this.
That's what I admire about them the most, I think, is like they really do seem eager to make these good. Like, that's the thing, is I really feel like they care about the quality of their franchise and the quality of their movies, and even when they don't always hit that mark, I always feel like that is an intent here. I feel like they're really responsible, and it does seem like they're really willing to learn and to make each one, you know, better. Like, they take the quality of their films really seriously, and I do think, like, it's interesting to look at them because it is something new. It's like, this is the first time where I've looked at, like, a sort of hive mind that sort of authors these movies and thought, yeah, you do kind of have to have a group of people together to manage the creative vision of something like this that has so many moving parts and so many different series, and it's got to crash characters and tones together.
It's exciting because their standalone films are really good too. They've gotten good at dialing it back a little bit on, you know, crossover stuff. Like teasing. Granted, Civil War is like a shit ton of people, but even then, it feels like more than just crossover, you know, candy. It feels like it's necessary. It feels essential whenever they do that.
Well, that even goes back to what the Russo brothers said, like wanting to honest trailer-proof it. Like, it really seems like they pay attention to that stuff, and they make tweaks every time. And I thought, you know, the most recent wave of Marvel films, I think, was one of the stronger ones, or the more distinct you know, ones to me. So
it's just so cool to see Robert Downey and Tom Holland and Chris Pratt standing next to each other.
Yeah, totally. Like I don't always get excited for this stuff, but like this was cool. Like I feel like I was watching one of those like Pixar making ofs when I was watching this. We're gonna talk just about how much we love this thing for a second. I'm like, I'm excited. Green screens and cool sets and shit. Let's do it.
All right, guys. Well, thanks for sending that our way. You can subscribe to The Real Rejects. Reasons to Jerry on Twitter and Instagram. Social media manager of Facebook of Bloomhouse and The Real Rejects. And shout out to DC. You guys are just as good.
You guys love money.
You guys are doing all the right things.
Yeah.
You don't need to learn anything from Marvel. You guys are on the right path.
Sick marketing, though. Really top-notch
trailers.
Marketing. Riding those controversies every time you step on something.